Hey YouTube, this is Chiefs Factory, and this is going to be a deck profile for the ban list I just posted. I think there'll be an annotation to that ban list somewhere around here if you want to look at it. Excuse me. So, I banned a lot of stuff, so I'm not running BLS or anything. I'm running Teledad, by the way, in case you couldn't tell. It's a really cool deck. I like this a lot. I was not around for the Teledad, or I was alive in the Teledad format, but I hadn't started Yu-Gi-Oh yet. But playing back in it's always been one of my favorites, so I may have been a little bit biased in bringing it back, but I really feel like it isn't broken or anything in this format, because everything else is so fast. So I'm running 3 Malicious and 2 Diamond Dude for the Destiny Hero engine. With the 2 Searchers, it's pretty easy to have targets for Destiny Ddraw. And then Stratos that rounds up the heroes. So just the 6 heroes. Stratos searches them so that I can Ddraw and ROTA them. So that I can Ddraw and Allure them. 2 Dads, obviously, because it's id2, or it will be. So, it's the card in the deck, of course. It's the card that makes you win the game. Everything else is like combo, clash, fight, and then boom, drop Dad per game. Dad has always been one of my favorite cards. He's incredibly fun. He's just so good. He's really cool. And there's always the strategy of how do I get 3 darks and make sure it stays at 3 darks, and do I think I might draw it? Do I want to have 3 darks for that, or do I think it's a better play to just not worry about it right now? It promotes interesting dynamics in their thought process. I'm running 2 Spirit Reaper. I just really like Spirit Reaper, it's really good. It lets me get Catastor, obviously, and then if I have like Spirit Reaper and a Tour Guide, I can go Tour Guide for Sangan and then just summon the Reaper to overlay. It's great for the discard, it can't die, it's just a good card. And it's dark, obviously. Everything here is dark except the Veilers. 1 PSZ, obviously great for the Synchro engine, with cards like Malicious. Triple Krebons, targets for Etele, great card. It's even okay if it's on its own, because it just doesn't die. 2 Tour Guides, of course, and a Dad deck. Sangan and Night Assailant. I don't usually run Night Assailant anymore, but for this deck, you want to have a lot of Tour Guide targets, which I will talk about in a moment, because you can recycle your Tour Guides really easily. 1 Caius. I like Caius. He's good, and he's just 1 in this deck for if I happen to draw it, he's a little helpful. He's really, really, really good. You can get Malicious Tribute Fodder, and then after you use him, you can Synchro with Krebons or PSZ. You can use Spirit Reaper for Tribute Fodder, or you can Birdman it back to your hand to use it again. It's just really good. Which brings us to the 2, as I said, Gen X Ally Birdman. This card is great. It's actually really great. Summon Tour Guide, effect, summon Sangan, return Tour Guide to my hand to special summon Gen X Ally Birdman. Overlay, or you can do Tour Guide for Tour Guide, and then return one of the Tour Guides for a Birdman, and then overlay, and then that gives you your Tour Guide back to use again right after that. And you can just keep doing stuff like that. It's great. I love it, actually. It's really, really, really good. Or you can do Tour Guide for Sangan, and then, bounce stuff, summon, do synchro stuff. It's pretty awesome. You have to be careful, because the things Tour Guide summons can't be used for synchroing. 1 Gorz, of course, because Gorz is great. It's a good dark monster, and it's helpful. 1 Phantom of Chaos. I love this card because if your dark count gets to 15 or something, and you have a Dad that you just can't use, you can summon Phantom of Chaos, banish Dark-Armed Dragon for his effect, and then just banish tons of darks from your grave for Dark-Armed Dragon in order to get your dark count down. He's pretty helpful, and of course he has 2,800 attack. So, it's pretty good. Although he doesn't deal your opponent damage, apparently, which is too bad. Then 2 Effect Veilers. This deck's pretty monster heavy, but it's not like Chaos Dragon. It's only 25. It's a little bit higher than usual. Most decks don't like to go above 23, but 25, it's not so bad. Triple Teleport, triple MST, triple Destiny Ddraw, ROTA, Allure. This and this speaks consistency. You can actually hear it talking. If you put your hand, or if you put your ear next to the cards, they're actually whispering about consistency. Because these cards are so good. All 5 of these are all about getting what you need. These are about discarding what you don't need in order to set up combos, and then to draw into stuff for those combos. ROTA is about getting into all of this. Allure is about more drawing, like Destiny Draw. And all these Etele is search out your Krebons, right to the field. Triple Mystical, of course, because no Heavy Storm, so you need back row destruction. And then for my traps, Torrential, Mirror Force, Warning, and Judgment. Remember, Torrential, Mirror Force, and Warning are all at 1. So you can't run more than one of those. They're all really good, though, so I'm running them anyway. Extra deck, the only 7 is Black Rose. It's kind of hard to do, but it's like Birdman and Diamond Dude. But it's just so good, there's no reason not to. We're like Valor in 6, I guess. For the 5, I'm running Cataster. For the 6s, which is like Krebons plus a 4, or Birdman plus a tour guide, is Gaia Knight and Orient Dragon. I love Orient Dragon, it's so good. Just, hey, your opponent's a Synchro Monster? Boom, it's gone. Stardust? I don't care. And then for the long list of 8s, because it's a big focus in this deck, because the big play is Destiny Draw, discard Malicious, draw 2, banish Malicious to summon a Malicious, summon your Krebons, Synchro 8, banish that Malicious to summon your third Malicious, Etele for another Krebon, sync 8 again, that plays like that. So, Stardust and Scrap Dragon, of course. And then, because I wanted more, because you're going to do this so many times, I picked, for my other 3, Blood Mephist, Colossal Fighter, and Void Ogre Dragon. Blood Mephist I really like because if like you know your opponent has a dead card, or they have like a Soul Drain active, or some random trap that won't help right now, you can just summon Blood Mephist and burn them down. It's like a Gaga Cowboy, because you can just leave them with a little bit of life and Mephist finishes them off. He's great. And he's 2800. Colossal Fighter is mostly for warrior decks, but also because we run this many warriors, you can drop Colossal Fighter with like 3300 attack. It's pretty good. And against like 6 Sams or something, you can summon their Xian. It's just pretty cool like that. Void Ogre Dragon's pretty easy to summon, but you're going to summon him incredibly rarely. It's Krebons plus Malicious or something, because your Tutor's Dark, it works out. But you won't be able to get his effect reliably. It's more for like late game. I have a Malicious in my grave, I top deck an Etele, boom, I can go Void Ogre and they can't stop it with traps, and then they can't use spells next turn. Void Ogre's great for that. He's ridiculously good Synchro Monster, and at worst it's a 3k. So you can't really go wrong with Void Ogre. He's really good. He's so insanely good. It's not just Infernities that can run him. For the Exceeds, we're running the standard staple rank 3s in Zenmain's Leviathan, Leviair, Tempo, and Acid Golem. And then my last one is a Photon Strike Bouncer. He's pretty good. He's not that hard to get out with Malicious and Caius and random Torient Dragons or whatever. And he's really good. Then the side deck. Triple Maxi. Oh, and I also wanted to note that I don't really know what I'm citing, because I don't know how much this ban list affects the meta yet, because I've never played, and I probably never will, so I'm never going to have a perfect side. But I'm citing for stuff I already see, that I expect to stay, and maybe for something I think might come. So Triple Max C is always going to be good. There's a lot of summon decks. 2 Breakers, instead of citing like Dust Tornadoes for extra back row pop, I'm citing Breakers, because he's also really good, and he's a good Dark Monster. He was limited for a long time because he's so good. Double Nova of Crossout for Rykos and stuff. Chaos Dragons, Light Sworns, stuff like that. Double Forbidden Lance. This is for like Fire Fists. It's so good against Fire Fists. Rather than like Twister, where, oh, they activate Tenki, I chain Twister to negate their Surge. What you do is you let them activate their like Horn of the Phantom Beast, chain Forbidden Lance, and instead of being plus 800, they're down 800, and the Horn is gone. So, it's so good. And then 2 Decrees, 2 Gozen Match, and 2 Soul Drain. Gozen Match is obvious, because they run, it's just, I mean, Gozen Match is because of, everything's dark, obviously. The whole deck, except for Valor's, is dark, and like Gorz Token. Even a lot of the Synchros are dark. It works out well. Then, the Decrees are for Chain Burn or Trap decks. And then 2 Soul Drains, which is iffy in this deck because of what it does to Sangan and Plague Spreader, Zombie, and Malicious, but if you're playing against Dark Worlds or Mermails, I don't know. I'm thinking about swapping this out for Shadow Mirror, but that doesn't work either. Maybe Skill Drain, I don't know. Because I want something for Dark Worlds, and the thing is, there's like 2 cards you can side in most decks, and it's either Soul Drain or Shadow Mirror, where they both hit 2 decks. Shadow Mirror hits Inzectors and the other stupid deck, Dark Worlds, and then Soul Drain hits Dark Worlds and Mermails. So right now I have Soul Drain, I might swap it out for something different, I don't know yet. We'll see. So for now, that's the deck profile. Please come dual network me, duel me. I'm Cheese Factory on dual network, but I'm missing an E. You can see the spelling here, CHEESFACTORY. There's an E missing here because of StarCraft stuff. But yeah. The only thing to note is I will be doing TCG duels only, because you can't do an OCG deck with this. Divine Judgment, whatever, Tinplate, Goldfish, whatever cards there are that are ridiculously good in the OCG, this ban list does not affect, and it would defeat the whole purpose of playing in the ban list to run OCG cards. So it's TCG only, and that's my only thing. So now that you know my deck, you can run everything against it, main deck, 3 Shadow Mirrors, whatnot. So enjoy, and this is Cheese Factory signing out.